Okay, hello. In this video we will see three different enterprise system physical architecture styles. Okay, now we can distinguish, as I said, three main forms of physical enterprise system physical architecture: mainframe, client server, and web browser. Now, although all these systems can currently be seen in practice, in business, there is a historical line in the development of these styles. Okay, now let's see how. The first one that have emerged is the mainframe architecture, which was essentially the only type available until sometime mid-80s. In this style, we would have a costly mainframe computer at the center and several dump or dummy terminals that are connected to the mainframe through wide area network. Now, these dummy terminals did not have any processing power and could only display data that was sent from the mainframe. Okay, this style provides a maximal centralization of elements. Now, what this means with respect to the four-tied architecture, this means the first three logic layers reside in the mainframe, and only the last one, the presentation logic, would be in the dump or dummy terminal side. Okay. What are the pros and cons? Or let me start with the pros. The main advantage of this style is that it enables easy maintenance, which means change of the system. A change that has to be done on the running software is done only on the mainframe, and the change is available instantly in all dummy terminals. So that's good. The weak point is that it is a single point of failure. The mainframe can be overloaded at peak times. Particularly, this was an issue at that times when the performance of mainframes were not of that good or high. So if too many users request access to the same business object, you would see some performance degradations. The second one is the client server architecture. As we just saw, originally mainframe architecture relied on a centralized mainframe server that processed data and returned it to be displayed on dummy terminals. As the price of personal computers, PCs, dropped significantly, and as strong servers were invented and became affordable, mainframe servers were replaced around mid-80s, and the dummy or dumb terminals were replaced with standard PCs, personal computers that could think and process themselves. So we call them FAT clients. So this also allowed different tiers to be extended and distributed as the demands of an application increases. So as you can see, the data logic resides in the central server or local server, which is optional, and the business and presentation logic reside in the FAT clients, in the PCs basically. And local servers, if available, regularly exchange info with the central server to synchronize the shared data. The advantage of this style is the ease of spread of use. You are able to install your system components in a cheap FAT client connected to your local area network or one wide area network, and you are in, boom. But the downside of this is the difficulty in the maintenance, and that was a big issue. I mean, when I say maintenance, again, I'm talking about system upgrades, system changes. In this style, when the business logic changes, I mean, for instance, when you change the data, when you change the function, when you change how you create order, for instance, the change has to be replicated in all FAT clients and the local servers, which is very costly and labor intensive, and that is basically why the style is mostly outdated now. Okay, the final one, the web browser architecture, emerged in 90s when IT became even more affordable, and this style is essentially comparable to the mainframe architecture, where you have a main server at the center. any browser capable client. We call them tin clients, including laptop, smartphones, or mobile phones, and laptop or pads, etc., can access the server over the internet or private network for increased security, or both private network and internet. The central server may reside in the cloud, by the way, meaning that you don't know where it resides and you don't basically care much about where it resides. And we'll discuss about that in another video. The sub-SAP system that you use, for instance, uses that kind of a style. In this case, you install a thin client to access the system, and when you log in the presentation logic, the fourth tier is downloaded to your client, and the server resides essentially somewhere in fact Germany. The pros are important, the advantages are important. First, ease of maintenance, and that's a very big one. If you need to change something, you just do it in the server and boom, the clients get the new version immediately without any notice. Why? Because the data and the business logic, meaning the function and process logic, resides in the server. Second is the ease of accessibility, where you can basically use any browser capable device, as we mentioned. But this still has some downsides. First, the security. Okay, if you're connecting through the internet, this always poses some risks for security. Breaches or attacks to service are known risks that you need to consider. And second is the dependence on the availability and reliability of the connection, but honestly this is less of an issue these days. Okay, now that was the enterprise system physical architecture styles in a nutshell, very briefly. See you in the next video.